Well, thank you very much. We are joined by Dr. Wallace Williams, who is one of the members of the Pan-African Institute and also the director of FESTAC, who is here to just give us some more details about the African Union job, the AUC, and what it takes to have a candidate going all the way. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Let's start quickly, and let's start from that process, because Kenyans would like to know how does one become an AU Commission chairperson?
There is a procedure, and we have looked at the procedure. The procedure is the ability to select candidates from the various regions, and then the next process is that they do a computer-based exam, which from us as Pan-Africanists, we find that extremely flawed, because why would you have an international or Western organization setting questions, computer-based, for leadership of the African Union? So that process, which is just about to come up in the next 2 months, is very, very key to selection and the selection process after shortlisting candidates. And Pan-Africanists will be concerned, because how can you have an accounting firm from a Western power choosing an African leader to lead the continent? That is not right, cannot be right. Then again, how are the questions going to be constituted? How are they going to be framed? What is the criteria for those questions and the objectives for those questions? And a computer-based exam, as you know, can be loaded in favor of a particular candidate after you have known who the shortlisting of those candidates are.
Okay. So you're opposed to these interviews, or what is the point?
Well, the point is that we have the capacity within the continent, if we have to interview shortlisted candidates on the continent. So, knowing fully well as Pan-Africanists how much leverage that people bring to bear on the African Union from outside, we are saying that this should not be happening. You should not have an outside institution from Africa putting the criteria for choosing a candidate on a computer-based exam. Because once you fail that exam, then you're done. Then you're done. And you could have missed the very best candidate, based on our criteria, not on a Western organization and an institution, a computer-based question choosing that candidate.
Okay. And perhaps in your process, because you mentioned to me earlier that you also did some research about the suitable candidates, whom did you come up with, and which of those?
We looked at the suitable leadership candidates. That was in August 2023. We had 55 people that were there with us from across the continent, but we formed a working group of about 20, representing almost 20 countries.
Which countries?
They were Malawi, Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Africa, Kenya, Trinidad and Tobago. The list is a good representation of Pan-African countries, across the continent, or Pan-African individuals from, different African countries. And we formed a working group. And that working group came up with 2 candidates, particularly. We looked at Pierre Lumumba from Kenya, and then we also looked at Dr. Arika, Chimbere from Zimbabwe. We felt that they were suitable based on their commitment and demonstration of looking at Pan-African issues over the past 4, 5, 6 years. For example, PLO has in almost every country in Africa a foundation mentoring youths. And then Arikana has set up an institute, African Diaspora Development Institute. That is showing commitment to Pan-African issues.
Okay. And perhaps, did you come across the name of Raila Odinga in terms of the research that you did, and do you think he has what it takes to be the next AUC chair?
Well, no person came up then, because nobody had put forward any candidates. As I told you, we did the research between August, September, and October last year. even going to the AU and getting information as how the process is run and how do they come up with the procedure and the processes, and where is the transparency in choosing the candidate. And we realized that there were some flaws, very serious flaws, like what we just spoke about. At that time, no candidates were put forward. Now that candidates are being put forward, they have to be examined based on what is their commitment and has been their commitment to the Pan-African issues. That's how I would load, a question. What have you done for the past 10 years to demonstrate, or 5 years even, to demonstrate your commitment to Pan-African issues? If a candidate has to be chosen, a criteria such as that, I think would be a fair criteria to them, because it's like electing a president. You need to know what are you going to do? What are the dividends you're going to deliver to the continent? And how are you going to demonstrate that you have been, very much involved in solving issues and providing solutions in Africa?
All right.
That would be a key issue as choosing a candidate if I was part of the selection procedure.
All right. And perhaps as we bring it to a close, what would you think is the right way for Africa? And of course, for those countries that are presenting candidates, whom should they look for? What the candidates?
They should look for future leaders, committed leaders, Pan-Africanists, true Pan-Africanists who are going to address the issues, take the bull by the horns and ride the rough bull of the African issues and get them, corrected, work with teams or a team of concentrated people who are in line with the Pan-African issues that we talk about, so that, the continent could be confident, yes, that the leadership of the AU is in the right hands. Is important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that has been Dr. Wallace from the Pan-African Institute, just giving us some of his insights about the Pan-Africanism that he is championing and the AU job that is up for grabs for the African candidates who will be showing up, of course, for that race and the elections held next year, February 2025. So that is the much time we had with him. Thank you so much for watching, and I hand it back to you, Jesse, on the other end.
Well, Tor, thanks for that chit-chat with the Ambassador Raila